You really shouldn't be surprised by who's buying Bitcoin right now and who stopped for a while, but has started buying again. I'll break that down in a minute. But first, let's talk about the $6 million worth of short positions that got liquidated during that small recent pump. That alone shows how leveraged people are in this market. Losing $6 million like that. Come on, stop gambling. Now, let's move on to some bullish news for those of us invested in inflation hedges, like Bitcoin, and for gold holders too. The global money supply is exploding, and Bitcoin is bound to follow. Just take a look at this chart, shared by Mr. Crypto. This is the empty money supply, essentially the amount of currency in circulation, and it's surging. This isn't a one-off spike either. It's more like a volcano with plenty of fuel left. Central banks aren't slowing down, they're ramping up the money printing. You might think, no way, the Fed is pulling back. Or maybe that the Federal Reserve could be stopped or reined in. But that's just not true. They're in full force right now, printing like crazy. Even though Trump recently said he's looking into whether he can fire Fed Chair Jerome Powell, the reality is, he can't. And I'm not saying this to bash Trump, but we need to understand the power dynamics here. How could he fire Powell? The Federal Reserve isn't under presidential control. Yes, the Federal Reserve Act was passed in 1913. But the families behind the Federal Reserve, an unelected and private institution, have been influencing things for much longer. Trump doesn't have any authority over them. If he truly believes he does, then he doesn't understand who the real power players are, which is concerning. That should worry everyone. He's right in saying Powell isn't doing a great job, but wrong in thinking he can simply remove him. Trump actually said, "I could remove him quickly if I wanted to," but no sitting president has ever had real control over the Federal Reserve, and none ever will. That's a fact. Get that idea out of your head. No one in power is going to do a press conference and admit, "Turns out, I can't touch the Fed." If anyone close to Trump is listening, they should suggest he read The Creature from Jekyll Island or watch The Century of Enslavement, the documentary by James Corbett. Those are eye-opening resources that dive deep into how the Federal Reserve really works. You may think it's a conspiracy theory, but it's not. This is real, and whether you know it or not, you're working hard for a system controlled by the Fed. Anyway, moving on to something more market-related. Freddie Bull. I actually like this guy. He's a solid trader. Sure, he gets some things wrong, but what trader doesn't? He recently pointed out that it's been about 3 to 4 months since he last discussed long-term holder supply. Back then, long-term holders were net selling Bitcoin, the rise from $68,000 to $110,000. That checks out. We also sold some of our holdings during that range. You can see exactly when we buy and sell at learningcrypto.com. When long-term holders sell, it typically happens during sharp price increases. That's normal. The last round of aggressive selling happened as Bitcoin surged past $110,000, but that started slowing in March. And as of April, long-term holders are officially accumulating again. That's major. For the past 7 months, they were selling into the rally. Now, they're buying the dip. That's a bullish sign. And while a lot of people are still bearish, I'm not. Some think I'm crazy for saying we're still in the bull market. But look at the price. We're at $85,000. Think back to when FTX collapsed and Bitcoin crashed to around $15,500. If we had bounced back to $85,000 the next day, people would have been dancing in the streets. But now, sentiment is dead. And that's actually a good thing. It means the hype is gone. And the market is healthier and more level-headed. There's no euphoria right now. And that's exactly what we want to see during a strong, sustainable bull market. So let me know what you think in the comments. Are we in a bear market or a bull market? And just think about it. Bitcoin is at $85,000 and there's still no euphoria. What does that tell you? See you next time. Let me know if you want this rewritten in a different tone or formatted for a video script. 40.